Ah, yo, what's up, YouTube? I am sorry, but I'm going to be reacting to another VTuber's video about Wuthering Waves, and I have a good explanation. It's mainly because I saw something go down on Twitter a little bit. People being mad at, basically, this girl's and another content creator's thumbnails or titles, basically saying is Wuthering Waves overhyped or the dangers of it being overhyped. And while she changed the title of it, it says here, lower your expectations for Wuthering Waves, having to do with like the hype of the game, right? Because people are like, we don't want the people who are saying this game is going to be the Genshin killer around, because that's going to be like bringing bad press to the game already, and setting up for like too many expectations, right? You don't want to do that. So, anyways, we're going to check out this video and see what's up.
It is time for not actually technically Wuthering Waves glazing content. I want to talk about something that I think that we should keep in mind as we get closer to the day that Wuthering Waves releases, which is overhyping the release of Wuthering Waves.
No!
Subscribe. This seems very rich coming from me as a big woo-wah glazer the last couple of weeks, but that does not mean that we should go into the game.
Oh yeah, she's been glazing the fuck out of this game. I remember at one point in one video, she was like, I just want to shit on Zenless to shit on Zenless. Or at least try not to give them credit, right? But hey, I kind of feel the sentiment, right? Where he's like, you want to see it's Hoyoverse, right? So you want to see the competitor get some competition, right? I think that's the main sentiment.
With unrealistic expectations for any game. So the first thing that I want to say as a point is that we need to be real with each other and ourselves that most likely Wuthering Waves is probably going to have some server issues when the game first drops. And I'm not saying this because of anything wrong with Kuro Games. I'm saying this because there are going to be so many people trying to get into the game at the exact same time on...
I keep forgetting about that shit. That's what happened with Helldivers as well, but I don't know if it'll be that bad, right? Well, then again, that was like, what? 30 million pre-registers? Actually, you know what? This actually may become a problem. Oh, and it is a free game. It is a free game. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. There's going to be fucking issues.
A game that will not have experienced this level of server load, of server density. And so the reality is that it is probably going to have server issues. Are there going to be Genshin cucks or Hoyo cucks in general that are going to say that this is proof that there's no way this game could ever get close to Genshin?
Oh, 100% they are going to do that shit. Oh my gosh, 100% they're going to shit on Wuthering Waves. They're like, they didn't have their servers prepared for this love now. Oh, they're going to do that. That is 100% going to happen.
Impact. Absolutely, yeah. Most new releases have server issues when they release. Realistically, it is going to be one of those things that they cannot fully prepare for because they're just kind of not going to know how much they're going to need or how much of an issue they are going to have. It just happens. So if there are server issues when the game releases, what I want to say is don't panic. Chill in front of that little loading circle of death and we'll wait it out. We'll listen to some music and we'll glaze Wuthering Waves until servers are up if there are issues. Do not listen to the doom posting that the server issues are proof that Kuro Games could never handle it and Wuthering Waves is gonna fail. That's not what that is. Almost every game that comes out has server issues, especially when it's highly anticipated, which Wuthering Waves, don't get me wrong, absolutely is. But we can prepare for there to be issues, and then if there's no issues, we're gonna glaze them like crazy on that. But prepare for them to be there. Another thing I want to say is don't go into Wuthering Waves expecting to have the same magical feeling that you had when you started Genshin Impact. Do not.
You know what? I think I am going to have that new feeling, mainly because it's going to be like, I know I'm sounding like a hypocrite in my previous videos saying like I'm not like a huge fan of like open world games, but when you start up an open world game, you do feel the magic of being in like a new world, right? And granted, I haven't watched like a full-on playthrough of this game, right? I've only seen like glimpses, but there is that feeling of just like booting up the new game and stepping into a new world. So I feel like I'm still gonna feel it. We'll see. We'll see.
Go chasing your Genshin nostalgia from before your honeymoon period ended going into this game. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. People's nostalgia for that excited, lovely feeling that they got when they first started playing Genshin, I think it's so strong that, like, you forget probably all of the things that were deeply imperfect when you started playing Genshin Impact because you just have that big nostalgia.
My intro to Genshin Impact, I was like, this intro is so fucking long. Or, I don't know, it was like a typical mobile game intro. So I don't get much excitement out of it. So I don't know. I never got that feeling. Maybe others have, but I've never gotten that feeling from it. I did feel it though in Star Rail. That's when I felt the magic.
We need to do is go into it with the expectation of enjoying a game in a genre that we know that we enjoy, but do not hold it up to Genshin as if that is the goal. This is a brand new game that is going to be experimenting because while Kuro Games has made other gacha games, they have not made an open world game like this before. Don't go into it with expectations that it's going to have all of the polish that Genshin Impact currently has, because it's not. And that's not doom posting that it's going to be awful, but if you are always going to compare it to your nostalgia of Genshin's beginning.
I know okay, here's the thing. I'm one of those people who had like a gloomy perception of how the game looks. But the more I look at it, like some of these places don't look too bad actually. They're starting to look better to me.
Honeymoon period, every game is going to fall short of your nostalgic yearning for a game. Go into it wanting the best for it, and also understanding that things are probably going to have to be hot fixed. Things are going to have to be adjusted.
Oh, yeah.
There are going to be problems with servers. It might be a little bit glitchy. We might see issues here and there. This is not proof of ineptitude. It's a new game in a format that is new to the developer.
Maybe
and
not.
so
We'll
just let it ride, enjoy it as much as you can, and put in good and meaningful feedback so that developers can make the experience as good as possible.
And they're listening too. They've been listening to the community about this stuff for a while now. I mean, some characters even got their designs changed because I'm pretty sure they got criticized for having their designs be, I guess you could say, like, boring. But yeah, they're listening, and if they're listening, that's a good step. That just means, like, if there's like some fuck ups in the game, they're going to get right on that shit.
This additionally goes into when content creators have genuine, helpful, meaningful, and thoughtful criticism for Wuthering Waves, do not jump down their shit calling them Genshin cucks if it is real and good criticism. They should be criticizing the game when it comes out so that Wuthering Waves can make the most of the game. If we are not being critical constructively, they are not going to be able to improve the game as much as they could as if we were. If there are criticisms to be had, I will be posting them. Not because I want to shit on the game, because I desperately want this game to be successful. I will be posting it in the very deep hope that Kuro Games sees it, or that the community agrees, and we can get these things fixed. We should not want to see WUWA as a perfected product, because when we see things as perfect, we lose the ability to help it become better. Because the second that WUWA Doom posters see people who've been excited for the game be disappointed because it doesn't hold up to expectations that are too high, they are going.
The only thing I'll say about those people is shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We don't care. We're trying to make the game better. If it's not great on release, who fucking cares? We're going to make it better. We're going to communicate. Tell them to make the game better. They'll actually fucking listen. That'd be great. Shut the fuck up.
To jump down WUWA's throat and Kuro's throat about, like, see, here's the proof that it'll never measure up to Genshin. It'll never get there. It's always been shit. It's just a shitty Genshin clone. Genshin's the best. Toyo's the best. Look. You're gonna have to fix stuff. And that's
Oh,
okay.
yo.
Have reasonable expectations. Understand that there are going to be systems that might be unoptimized despite there being a beta. There's no way they fixed every single thing ever in beta, and there's going to be things that need to be optimized. But overhyping it and having expectations that are impossible to reach for a game that is new, you're going to be disappointed. But
Yeah, that's how I feel about like this is how I pretty much like feel about any release of like a new game. Is I always have my expectations pretty much low. Like most of the time I have them pretty low. Unless it's something like I'm really engaged with, like let's say for instance, like or it's like a franchise, right? If it's a franchise I've been invested for years, I am more likely to get that feeling of, oh, I'm expecting it to be good. Like for instance, Street Fighter 6. From Street Fighter 5 to Street Fighter 6, when you see that glow up, you're like, oh, this game is going to be a banger. And us and good thing it was a banger. Holy shit. Gosh damn, this game and the season 1 uh final update for Street Fighter 6 on the same day. Oh my gosh. I wonder what the season 2 DLC is going to be.
if you go into it, allowing it to be its own experience of its own merit, you might be able to actually enjoy it fully. Just let it breathe. Let Kuro breathe. Let your experience breathe. Don't start doom posting
Yeah.
that the Genshin cucks were right instantly. Don't start agreeing with mint pickers the second they start doom posting because it benefits them for some reason because they do it for free. I don't understand it. Just enjoy the game. If you want to do some metagaming and listen to all the guides and have like the most OP perfected account ever, do that. If you want to explore and get to know the game on your own terms and try to figure out mechanics on your own, do that. Just enjoy the game for its own thing. Don't compare it to Genshin unless it's a valid comparison, okay?
Yeah.
But don't put expectations on it that are not realistic. It is a new game from a company that has not had a release this big. This is ultimately still a positive video, but I have a lot of fear that people are going to start seeing the slightest things wrong, or they're not going to feel like the response is quick enough, or they're going to start getting influenced by doom posting or whatever, and they're going to start to like spiral about it if it's not like up to these expectations. Let your experience breathe.
Yeah, I think all the like me included, all the content creators for this game are going to be like, I think the best you could do is like, don't glaze the fuck out of it in like an unreasonable way. Like, don't be a Genshin cuck. Like, don't become what, don't become what we despise, right? We don't want that issue. We're going to be a bit more realistic about it, right?
As its own experience, a new experience. Don't go into this with the like hope of like a constant Genshin could never mindset of wanting every single thing to be like, oh yeah, they have this, it's like this, Genshin could never. Because if that is how you are looking to enjoy the game, to compare it to Genshin, it's like not fair to the game. You're not really ever gonna enjoy it.
Fair.
And like it might not live up to that because you're having to battle against nostalgia and having to battle against a game that has been out for years.
I feel like people are going to get like that at the beginning of this game, and it's going to lessen over time, right? So like once people start like pulling off these crazy ass looking combos, they're going, Genshin could never, Lamau. And then as time moves forward, they're going to be thinking less about that comparison. I don't know. I feel like this game will always be. It's like how I'd say. It'll become less of a meme, and then the comparisons will become actual, maybe. But the comparisons will be like small in number. Like if anything, it'll just be comparison of the game titles. I think. I don't know. We'll see.
Years. Maybe this is a completely irrelevant video. Wuwa's gonna be perfect. You're gonna have no problems. The whole thing is just gonna be bust a nut, excellent. And then we can glaze Wuwa even harder. But be okay with it not being that way so that we can eventually have the game that we're dreaming of. But allow it to be its own thing so that we can enjoy it to its fullest and not just enjoy it insofar of its comparison to Genshin, because that sucks. It's not fun if your enjoyment of something is like based in your hatred or like disdain for something else. So don't
Yeah, the hatred would last only for so long. Yeah, the hatred would last for only so long, and yeah, I think the hate people will like. That's what I was saying earlier. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say earlier. Is that the hatred will melt out eventually to the person? Okay, now I'm just thinking about playing the game. right? They're just eventually going to be stop thinking about the Genshin hate. They're eventually just going to start thinking about just playing Wuthering Waves. If they don't, well, I'm surprised it could last that long with anger. Holy fuck, anger is hell of a drug.
Overhype WUWA. Hype it appropriately and allow it to be whatever it is. And I think that we'll start off on a really good foot for the game because I'm so excited. So that's kind of all I had to say. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Let me know what character you're hoping to pull for first. I'm really interested in Encore, so I think I'm going to try and build a team around her. But you guys have a good day. I'll see you soon. 7 days until WUWA, probably less when I post it. See you later. Bye!
Go video. Or subscribe. I'm giving it a thumbs up. That was a video by HexJuice. And this was a good video. It wasn't shitting on the game. Like, the person who made the tweet at her, like, referencing her thumbnail and somebody else's, I feel like a dick for not saying their name. Let me find their name. Let me find their name. Let me find the name. Let's see. She was in the comments. Maddie, which tuber? Maddie Chu. That was the other YouTuber that was getting shat on by that tweeter. But anyways, I think it's reasonable to be skeptical of or not skeptical, be guarded about the game being good or bad on release, right? Like, people are we already had the expectations that the game is going to be pretty cool, but it's not going to be perfect, right? It's not going to be perfect. And well, that's the thing with most games, right? We don't expect perfect releases. Like Helldivers 2 had its complaints when the game first came out. Street Fighter 6 has complaints. Tekken had its complaints. All these games always have their complaints at the beginning. So yeah, lower your expectations. This game wasn't, or this video was not shitting on the game. It was giving a realistic perception on what to expect. So yeah, I like the video. Feel free to join the Discord below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, like this video too. That'd be dope. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Cue the outro. Gah!